Good morning, everybody. Paul here from Warden Farm. It's the 17th of July. Over the last 2 days, I pulled the July honey that I didn't pull back when I pulled the honey in the end of May. That way this honey can get to be amber in color instead of the gold color. So I have 22 frames that I gotta basically spin, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna uncap it, and then we're gonna put it in the extractor, spin it to get the honey out of the frames, put it in a 5-gallon bucket, and we're gonna let it sit for a day or two, put some saran wrap on it so it doesn't absorb any moisture, and we'll then go ahead, take that saran wrap off. That will lift out all the bubbles and debris that float up to the top, and I can put that outside. The bees can go ahead and eat it. It'll help them during the dearth. And then I can bottle this honey and get it going. So I'm gonna get everything ready. I got the uncapping tank all set. I got 20 frames here, and we're gonna start doing some uncapping. Next, if, and that's a big if, goldenrod has a great year, we might get some goldenrod honey, but I'm not looking forward to it. Last year I think we got maybe 11 gallons out of that, but we have had a lot of rain lately, and hopefully that rain is helping it grow and we don't get any high wind storms for the rest of the summer here. Because if you do get a high wind storm, the goldenrod gets knocked over, there goes your honey flow, because the flowers go and the bees don't have anything that they can eat on. Sometimes the wax just drops, sometimes it don't. So that's been pulled off already. There it goes. Let's get this honey out of here quickly so we can get it in the tank. I think we're just going to scratch this one here in the center. We're just coming up getting that wax off. Scrape a little there, down here on the edge, the outside. And that's it. That's all of it. Then we just take the frame, come right to the extractor, and then it goes. And it's just a process. Good looking medium frame. There we go. And what's nice about this capping tank is it'll capture all the cappings. The honey will drip down, and there is a holding tank down below. So that holding tank will capture all the honey that we don't get. Scratch that off. This is much darker than the early honey. And this honey has got your later flowers, all your summer flowers, late spring. And it's just a pleasure to harvest it again. You can use different tools. And this side here is completely capped. This is what I'm talking about. Completely capped, almost completely capped, except for a little corner. And there we go. There goes the wax like it should go. And then where the divots were, just come in and scratch it. The honey's flowing because it's pretty warm in here. Actually, and so what we're trying to do is get it off the frame quick. And then it'll make it capture more in the tank. Those were good thick cappings. And you can see it's just how dark this honey is. Part of the frame is dark here in the center because it was probably used as a brood chamber before it became a honey chamber. So in early spring, I go ahead and let the queen lay in it. You add the excluder, keep the queen out of it, and then it hatches out. They backfill it with the nectar, and then the workers go ahead and dehydrate the honey. And then once it's capped, it should be below the 17.5% moisture content inside the honey, because anything they say over 18.5, I believe it is. I like going 17.5. That way there's no chance of it fermenting. Into the tank it goes. Now that we have the frames inside the extractor, we lower the lid. It's already plugged in over there. Turn on the extractor and just let it start spinning. And you start out slowly because you don't want to start out right super fast. Even though this is bolted down, it'll make it rock really fast. So we'll pick up the speed just a little, leave it right there for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then we pick the speed up some more and continue on. So now you can see it's been spinning for a few minutes, so now we're going to pick up the speed just a little bit. And now you can start to see you're starting to get a rocking motion in there. But that's okay, it's not too bad. We'll go a little more. That's doing pretty good. Now this is a 5-gallon bucket, and this bag is actually for brewing beer, but it's a very fine mesh bag. And I go ahead and I put it in the honey bucket because it'll help us strain the honey later. Now we pull the drawstring nice and tight. That'll help hold it. And we put in our 2-factor screen, the very fine mesh, and one allows larger particles to go through the other side. So we'll turn the speed down to where it'll stop. Open the lid. Whew, quite a bit of honey down in there already. Alright, let's see if we can show you down inside there. Now you can see down in there the honey that's down in there. but we still got more to do. Two, 6. Seven. What would be nice is if I had a radial extractor. One day I'm going to buy one, and then I don't have to spin these frames. And I see that coming probably next year if all goes well. So now we got this on. We're going to turn it back on because it's already lost some of the weight. We can start going right up a little faster. And this will level out once it finishes casting the honey out. Now this is what we've been waiting on. So let's see what this late or mid-July honey is going to look like. That looks pretty darn good. Oh man, that is really good. So that's the beginning of the honey pull. Now the honey's going through real quick, but the wax cappings in here will start clogging the holes, and it'll start taking its time draining. So right now it's draining through pretty quick. It's pretty warm in here. Oh yeah, that's looking good. That's looking really good. Oh, where's my tester? I want to test it. Let's see what it's coming in at. Make sure there's no wax. And let's see what we got going here. 18%. Okay. Here we are with the last bit of the honey coming through. I still have yet to spin the other side here, so I'm getting ready to turn it around. Just have to get some of the honey out because it's so full. So now that they're all extracted, we can put them on top of a beehive, or we can set them out for the bees to go ahead and clean them up. And I think I'll set them out for the bees to clean up, because that's what I'll be doing with the extractor once I finish getting all the last of the honey out of it. And that's pretty much going to be it for this season of extracting honey. The only way it'll get any better is if we get a goldenrod flow, but I really don't expect to see it. Well, so there we have it. We're completed all 22 frames, actually 21, because the one I decided not to spin because it had a little bit of larvae in there that I didn't see. Not larvae, cat brood. And then I was like, I'll just stick it back on the hive and they'll go ahead and use it. And all I got left in here is 11 frames right there. I got a little bit of honey left in there to go ahead and get out of there by unbolting it from the floor and tilting it, let it run off into the bucket. 5-gallon bucket is just about up to the top. So let me finish cleaning this up, and then that way we can go ahead and get the frames out there for the bees to clean, and get the extractor out there for the bees to clean, and be done with the 2025 honey harvesting season. Paul from Warden Farm, have a blessed day and take care of your bees.